Bedtime from Abroad presents Gayardaree the Platypus by K. Langlow Parker. A young duck used to swim away by herself in the creek. Her tribe told her that Mulaka, the water devil, would catch her some day if she were so venturesome, but she did not heed them. One day, after having swum some distance, she landed on a bank where she saw some young green grass. She was feeding about when suddenly out rushed from a hidden place Bagoon, an immense water rat, and seized her. She struggled and struggled, but all in vain. "I live alone," he said. "I want a wife." "Let me go," said the duck. "I am not for you. My tribe have a mate for me." "You stay quietly with me, and I will not hurt you. I am lonely here. If you struggle more or try to escape, I will knock you on the head or spear you with this little spear I always carry." "But my tribe will come and fight you, and perhaps kill me." "Not they. They will think Mulaka has got you. But even if they do come, let them. I am ready." And again he showed his spear. The duck stayed. She was frightened to go while the rat watched her. She pretended that she liked her new life, and meant to stay always, while all the time she was thinking how she could escape. She knew her tribe came to look for her, for she heard them, but Bagoon kept her imprisoned in his hole in the side of the creek all day, only letting her out for a swim at night, when he knew her tribe would not come for fear of Malacca. She hid her feelings so well that at last Bagoon thought she really was content with him, and gradually he gave up watching her, taking his long day sleep as of old. Then came her chance. One day, when Bagoon was sound asleep, she slunk out of the burrow, slid into the creek, and swam away up it, as quickly as she could, towards her old camp. Suddenly, she heard a sound behind her. She thought it must be Bagoon, or perhaps the dreaded Malacca. So, stiff as her wings were, she raised herself on them, and flew the rest of the way, alighting at length very tired amongst her tribe. They all gabbled round her at once, hardly giving her time to answer them. When they heard where she had been, the old mother ducks warned all the younger ones only to swim upstream in the future, for Bagoon would surely have vowed vengeance against them all now, and they must not risk meeting him. How that little duck enjoyed her liberty and being with her tribe again! How she splashed as she pleased in the creek in the daytime, and flew about at night if she wished. She felt as if she never wanted to sleep again. It was not long before the laying season came. The ducks all chose their nesting places, some in hollow trees and some in maria bushes. When the nests were all nicely lined with down feathers, the ducks laid their eggs. Then they sat patiently on them until at last the little fluffy downy ducks came out. Then in a little time the ducks in the trees took the ducklings on their backs and in their bills and flew into the water with them, one at a time. Those in the maria bushes waddled out with their young ones after them. In due course the duck who had been imprisoned by Bagoon hatched out her young too. Her friends came swimming round the maria bush she was in, and said, "Come along, bring out your young ones too. Teach them to love the water as we do." Out she came, only 2 children after her. And what were they? Such a quacking gabble her friends set up, shrieking, "What are those?" "My children," she said proudly. She would not show that she too was puzzled at her children being quite different from those of her tribe. Instead of down feathers, they had a soft fur. Instead of 2 feet, they had 4. Their bills were those of ducks, and their feet were webbed, and on the hind ones were just showing the points of a spear, like Bagoon always carried to be in readiness for his enemies. "Take them away!" cried the ducks, flapping their wings and making a great splash. "Take them away! They are more like Bagoon than us. Look at their hind feet. The tip of his spear is sticking from them already. Take them away, or we shall kill them before they grow big and kill us. They do not belong to our tribe. Take them away. They have no right here." And such a row they made that the poor little mother duck went off with her 2 little despised children, of whom she had been so proud, despite their peculiarities. She did not know where to go, If she went down the creek, Bagoon might catch her again and make her live in the burrow or kill her children because they had webbed feet, a duck's bill, and had been hatched out of eggs. He would say they did not belong to his tribe. No one would own them. There would never be anyone but herself to care for them. The sooner she took them right away, the better. So thinking, away upstream she went until she reached the mountains. There she could hide from all who knew her and bring up her children. On she went until the creek grew narrow and scrubby on its banks, so changed from the broad streams which used to placidly flow between large unbroken plains that she scarcely knew it. She lived there for a little while, then pined away and died, for even her children as they grew saw how different they were from her, and kept away by themselves until she felt too lonely and miserable to live, too unhappy to find food. Thus pining, she soon died away on the mountains, far from her old Narumba, or hereditary hunting ground. The children lived on and thrived, laid eggs and hatched out more children just like themselves, until at last, pair by pair, they so increased that all the mountain creeks had before long some of them, and there they still live, the Gayardaree, or Platypus, quite a tribe apart. For when did ever a rat lay eggs, or a duck have 4 feet? The End. How the Sun Was Made by K. Langloh Parker. For a long time there was no sun, only a moon and stars. That was before there were men on the earth, only birds and beasts, all of which were many sizes larger than they are now. One day, Dinawan the emu and Bralga, the native companion, were on a large plain near the Murrumbidgee. They were quarreling and fighting. Bralga, in her rage, rushed to the nest of Dinawan, seized from it one of the huge eggs in it, which she threw with all her force up to the sky. There it broke on a heap of firewood, which burst into a flame as the yellow yolk split all over it, which flame lit up the world below, to the astonishment of everything on it. They had only been used to the semi-darkness, and were dazzled by such brightness. A good spirit who lived in the sky saw how bright and beautiful the earth looked when lit up by this blaze. He thought it would be a good thing to make a fire every day, from which that time he has done. All night he and his attendant spirits collect wood and heap it up. When the heap is nearly big enough, they send out the morning star to warn those on earth that the fire will soon be lit. They, however, found this warning was not sufficient, for those who slept saw it not. Then they thought they must have some noise made at dawn of a day to herald the coming of the sun and waken the sleepers. But they could not decide upon to whom should be given this office for a long time. At last one evening they heard the laughter of Gagor-Gaga, the laughing jackass, ringing through the air. "That is the noise we want," they said. Then they told Gagor-Gaga that as the morning star faded and the day dawned, he was every morning to laugh his loudest, that his laughter might awaken all sleepers before sunrise. If he would not agree to do this, then no more would they light the sun fire, but let the earth be ever in twilight again. But Gagor-Gaga saved the light for the world, and agreed to laugh his loudest at every dawn of day, which he has done ever since, making the air ring with his loud cackling, Gagor-Gaga, Gagor-Gaga, Gagor-Gaga. When the spirits first light the fire, it does not throw out much heat. But in the middle of the day, when the whole heap of firewood is in a blaze, the heat is fierce. After that, it begins to die gradually away, until only the red coals are left at sunset, and they quickly die out, except a few the spirits cover up with clouds, and save to light the heap of wood they get ready for the next day. Children are not allowed to imitate the laughter of Gagor-Gaga, lest he should hear them and cease his morning cry. If children do laugh as he does, an extra tooth grows above their eye tooth, so that they carry a mark of their mockery in punishment for it. For well do the good spirits know that if ever a time comes wherein the Gagorgagas cease laughing to herald the sun, then the time will have come when no more Dians are seen in the land, and darkness will reign once more. The end.